Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Deep for Play. This is the Epiousios. We got Garrett here with the glowing silver eyes. It is so hot. I pray for all y'all who are in hotter places than me. I mean, come on. Indoors in Alaska on a summer day. I mean, this is a bad time. This is a bad time to be into air-cooled electronics. Though, if it is 75 in my room with no AC, because there's no such thing as air conditioning in Alaska unless you over-engineer. Really? Well, I guess there's places you could use it. Fairbanks gets over 100, but it doesn't dry out. And that's the difference in a lot of places where my mom is in Northern California there. The humidity is high, 35. Not so bad. You go down south though, you get that crispy smell in your nose. I don't know, a lot of you may know, or you may not know the difference because you've been where you are for so long. Another place is strange. Not everybody gets around. In fact, the vast majority of people do not. Garrett gets around, but we haven't got around a lot. Have you heard all the news? No, you have not. Because you're reasonable people who don't get on Discord, apparently. Heck, I mentioned Discord once, and I was immediately labeled as a doomer who had made it to chat in World. And I was like, there's a lot of people who never mention the fact that they are in Discord. Actually, how many people are truly active in Discord? Well, I'll tell you what, when they have a complaint, they find Discord then, don't they? They find Discord very fast. The complaint department is rich with one. Now that a few people who have watched me, it would be kind of fun if I could say, you know, the hundreds of people who have watched my programming, they knew, you knew to be patient. Yes, they'd slow down the servers. You knew to be patient. I gave you my heartfelt theory. Could you know? Well, shoot. I don't have Grollo's personal number. And as a system architect, as he is, you know, you don't really get a was there. Well, your time does go by, I guess. But we're going to talk about that. We're also going to mention a few other things about, you know, future game engine developments. Do you know that we don't reset our servers? Are you aware that we don't reset our servers like everybody else does? Has anybody thought of an MMO, a current MMO, that isn't a co-op, that isn't an arena, that isn't in the recent past, that runs on Unreal? There might be one that runs on Unity, not quite sure. I think I actually saw one that ran on Unity. Garrett, we'll be right back. The cats attacked me. Man, that was bogus. Sorry about that, guys. All of a sudden, they were like, yeah. The rain's been on and off. We don't even have weather here. Something's coming up. Let me get rid of something first. And that's Unreal Engine 5.8. What? Yes! Have you watched all this stuff? 2 weeks ago in Chicago, Unreal talked all about what a lot of people want to be interested in, and that's mesh. Right now we have a texture landscape. It's a landscape that sits on a very thin sheet. And that sheet has been called solid. You've all looked under the place with me, have you not? We're going to talk about a problem. You see, it's not voxel, it's mesh. And it's kind of like that sticky foam sand, whatever that was. I forgot what it's called. You know, the playful, colorful sand that wasn't sand. I guess it wasn't as irritating. Cookie's going to want out when it gets in your pants or between your toes. So, what went on is with mesh you can push it out of the way and textures can stretch. We had this in Epiousios. You could mine tunnels into the planet, but the enemy could shoot you right through that terrain. You can't build an alpha. It's different. If anybody's thinking, well, hold it, who cares what you're going to say, because in the future things will run better. That's not true. So this texture landscape, boom. Do you do this? Get a reality check. All these stones are mesh objects. If we could break them down, they might even be nanite. If they're all little triangles. There's my structure. Now you know that my structure is limited. Let me go get, I forgot to put something. Do you have one on you, Garrett? No. Let's go get one. We have plots. Now some people imagine tunneling. Some people with a lot of plots think, I can tunnel everywhere. Tunneling? Yes. The way you get tunneling is through mesh. There are editing tools you've seen in the texture layers. Right? It pushes out of the way and you can see the squares, right? A square basically is cut into quarters diagonally across its face. And you push those up and you get triangles, right? You always get triangles with those squares. That's what happens. This sort of terrain is smaller than that. Come dive with me, come dive, let's dive away. Now if you tunneled, you have a plot. Unreal is not designed for plots, by the way. Might have to look exactly what Spire said. Notice the height differences. Now sure, okay, so let's say we're on a mesh world. We wouldn't be able to do this for one. Cookie. I have to pick a salad for the rabbits later. So, you might think, okay, well, hold it, tunneling and plots. Well, what if they can do it? Can we tunnel? You're not going to be able to go far. And you have the margin, right? You have that space that's around your circle when you're connected to other plots, where your belongings aren't recovered. They're given permission to be there, but it's interim, like my clearance used to be. Now in mesh, your ability to walk by plants and affect them. No, I need to do a newest. Yeah. You see, when we walk around Pax Dei, that's when it affects us. We step on the ground, we see the leaves raise. Someone else is stepping next to us, they get their own effect. Not because of both of us, because of us individuals. Nasamun was saying they're running through an area, going through a dungeon, right? So a party of people, I forgot how many he said. Now the area that he spoke of seemed to be the same area. Did he say Corbin? Is that it, Corbin? I don't have it on a map. I'll look it up. If we could, there's a funny way to look it up that I was thinking of doing it. Bronier, is that an Inner Gallia? We have Gallia, the big one. Then we have Innis Gallia. That sounds like Inner Gallia, doesn't it? I wanted to move there. It's just familiarity. Well, maybe in the future. Are we ever going to have a reset? Why do I say that? Ooh, look at that. See the water? See the water square? This is why you get the reflections off the water that come under rocks, because these aren't trimmed. There's all sorts of things you can learn about your immersion, but tunneling. So right, you'd be able to tunnel inside your circle. There's a circle over there. These are all connected. Those are mine. Single circles. Look at that. What's that? Something out of control, right? It's a tree. You can see certain issues. This is just a height or an elevation issue. I'm going to send an F9 of this. I can't do it in here. Oh, that's too bad. Well, what I am going to do, did it do F9 in the other screen? That'd be awesome. What's going on? These are the trees I chopped down earlier. Well, this is over in the forest I was in. That's the lake where I talk about the house that's now getting... I think. They're pretty darn close. Trippy. Trippy. So, while I can't really say to mainframe, here I am, man, that's a trip. Too bad I can't send an F9 of that. It does bring my mouse up in a funny way. Do you see? Do you see the Doctor and me? Do you see? I can print the screen. The window. And so yeah, I'll have to send that to him. That's a trip. Okay, so either someone else cut trees in the line, or... You know, making an MMO is hard. So, no, I got the wrong thing in the wrong place, I know. Or the right thing. And Garrett, she looks at me as if to say, what? We're working up linens. You know, what about advanced linens? There's area of effect. There's a little bit of low weaponry. Yeah, but why is it taking you so long, Mr. Bender? Why you say you've played all these hours? Garrett's on 200 and something, I think. She started on the other launcher, so maybe she's got 500 total. Doesn't matter. That was all wiped out in the past. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. but we knew it was going to happen. Now, this world becoming mesh. Okay, 5.8, you're not going to see anybody even trying that for more than 6 months. Right now, they want people to work with it, but you're not going to see it in Pax Dei, unless, like, by God's grace overnight, Peter, or there's a few other individuals I wish I could just mention by name. One I can. Well, I can mention them all that I know. The lead world designer is Roel Grevendonk. He may have been the gentleman we saw, a rather particular gentleman, talking. And he was showing us our avatars walking through, and he had our steps highlighted. And how, the dust and the ground, they were adding an animation to that. And they were working with that animation at the time. What would be the best, right, see, well, it's happening below my feet, right? It's something I really don't notice being over my shoulder all the time. I do notice, because when I stop, I see all that, and the leaves drift off in the wind. Now, if you are 12 people, how many can be in a party, Nassaman? 6? You got maybe you have 3 parties, 4. You're running through an area. You've got all these world effects, and I've seen people run around in large groups without any trouble. So what else goes on? Well, where they were running through, I don't know yet. I got to look again. Let's get a few trees down. Got to look again. And we're going to check out chop that up, Garrett. I'm going to get to this now. Shrink yourself. So, Marie, Lioness, Ancienne, Inescalia. It does say Inescalia. Gallia. Caribbean. So, Antiquity, Arras. No. This isn't it. So, whose is it? It is Marie. Castor, Downshire. Did he say he was in Castor? Because he's in Grenier. If you look at the resources that may be in the wildlands of certain areas of Selene, because it's not Curies. There's Bronier. I think I'd have to look at Discord. But there are certain areas with the pure iron, impures there. There's the tanner variety over here. Of course, we're in Reeds, and this is our spread of wonder, right? Everybody look where it is. Everybody come and steal it from us. You'll die. This will kill you. This is all very deadly out here, just in case you don't know. But what I was wondering was what kind of resources they had. You can see up here, right? All the tan. You're like, we can't see jack. Yes, you can. I'm sorry. I'm on a 4K screen. So it's big. It's 43 inches diagonally. Anyway, all this pure iron up here, but we have a dungeon map, and I don't know where the dungeons exactly are. And that would be the comparison. Is, because it might have been Castor. Does Castor have on the way to some dungeons? Because I think I've heard of such things. There's some level 2 places there. Like, we can't see anything. Neither can I. Neither can I. But you have these level 2 places. I've shown you before our little dungeon Guide, Armagnac, Bladen, Bronière, Lioness. Was it Corbin? Because I don't think he was going through Lioness. I know, I'm having all sorts of fun here. But Caster, but there's some dungeons out here, you see? Bingo, or points of interest, that's a level 3 there. Carcinoma and Z Blyson, that's a number 3 there. If I'm saying them wrong, well, excuse me. This is Holistry, Holistry is what it says, but it's that number 3 there. And so this is a heavily traveled area. The farm, right? But there's other areas too. When these people run through these areas, I'll show myself again, because we have Caster there on Marie, bonjour. So there's nothing really special going on there, unless a lot of people are coming out to knock down the iron resources. Right? Well, look what's going on. Like, this is just here. If this was the area, bing, you're trying to run through here doing these dungeons. The dungeons are an instance. You're going somewhere else. And you're in a box. I'm sorry, you're in a dungeon. But your dungeon is now, you're not, if you had x-ray vision, you couldn't look behind you and see the world. And that's another thing we need to bring up about those big holes until you get up close to the dungeon. That's where you see mesh, and with that texture layer, they have to cut a hole in their world. They have to go in and cut a hole. Now, quite literally, we have this textured layer world of ours, and if they want something smooth, they have to go in and hand smooth it, or they just have to make it all smooth. You get to pick and choose your settings and sliders if things are mounted or flat. With mesh, you're going to be painting the ground with like a spray paint. Our roads would change, and I don't know if they'd be able to assign the roads like they did. If you ever heard the description how they did it, it was really cool. To get it to work and to change it and make it work, because you really have to negotiate and parlay with the system. So anyway, we have Gale, I always call it, Iliad, down. We have the farm here. This is a big crossing area. 1, 2, 3, 4 dungeons, or people are going to go there, hit it. The gates are right here. If anybody is dumping stuff, if anybody's dumping things, now what's dumped in the dungeon, that's an instance. That's not here anymore. That's somewhere else. And then you come back out the entrance, you're here again. But there's a lot of resources in this area where people are crossing over through. Look, even down toward where Carcinona is itself. Do I have the number 3 showing? Maybe not. There's a dungeon hole right there. That's not right. But it's another point of interest. Might as well say. Well, there's the outcropping island. And so we're down here. There. So there's the Empire Ruins, and it's a dungeon, right? Sorry for just making sure I never read the note before on that. I usually don't look up dungeons on this. That's always interesting. The stone circle, go there to die. I've run around those things. Check them out. Just make sure you don't die. And then we have, because this is just in an open area, you'd be like, well, there's no resources there. Well, it depends. It depends. And what is there to farm around here? People are all looking for their fountains, their adder stones. Is that in that area? I haven't gotten one yet. I'm not qualified. Then we have, as we move up, you don't like maps? There's this bad boy, right? So it's still in an area. Just imagine there's a server in this covering this square of folds here that you'll be able to see on your map. There's This is all stuff in the server that people have dropped. This is all granite here. This is all the granite. People need granite. This is a big thing. We have the iron. People will grab the impure iron if they feel it. Lots of animals, so there's going to be piles of bones everywhere from all these wonderful dire wolves and bears and everything you get to hunt up here, right? But this is where everybody's going through. And there is another ruins, Empire Ruins. And that's Pleisen, Z-Pleisen. I'm not quite sure what these names, what they contrast. I'd love to look them up and hear more. Really, so I'd have more to say about them. But you also have the gates themselves that are, man, those go right off the map on this one. Interesting. Well, they do here also, you can see, as they've shown. These have always been interesting to me. People think these are extra things, but I'm like, what are these? You know, server cuts where they figure certain intensities of things are? Because they're very large and plain and out areas, you know what I mean? If you can find that, you know, out here, that's just an open wilds. That's not in a valley, right? Because they're down here and over here. So the wilds. Anyway, you know, we can soak that down and rinse it out, but I'm wondering if we're going to see, if we kept going around and we saw the resource popularity along with where a lot of traffic would be, because people run on foot. You know, they don't, they're not zapping around, because not everybody can zap around. Some people would zap there by grace, but then they'd see no benefit in it as they waited for people who couldn't. So you might as well all run. And I've seen these people running. They're in higher OP gear, and you can run along, you know, and whack everything in your way. Because things in the dungeon are much more dangerous than what you're going to run into out on the terrain. They are. They really are. Okay, well, I hope that wasn't a waste of your time. I really hope it wasn't, because the complaint in Selene is just in the wilds. So, what is in the wilds? Resources we want. Happens to be here, main transition areas where people come and go to, across these areas for the different dungeons. There are also main resource areas for the region. Where is the... See, now they have this resource down here. Yeah, there's a triple dungeon right there. I wonder if, as the week goes by. This is as the week goes on. The server was reset on the 8th. Was it the 8th? Was it the 28th? I can't remember now. I could look it up. I thought, for some reason I thought, has it only been a week? But the tree reappeared. Exciting. So, do you want tunnels? I'm not sure what good it would do you. Even if you were the holder of the Golden City, we might only be able to open little holes in the soil between each other. Maybe enough to leap through. Maybe, I don't know. The tunneling thing... I got a little hidden place. I'm not going to start putting obvious contemporary comparisons to people who like dark spaces under their homes. Come on. Really. There wasn't much tunneling in the past unless there's a purpose. Now, we have wolf caves, right? You know, you can go in there and who let the dogs out happens to you. Different caves where there was mining resources. Well, what if you couldn't just mine anywhere? What if you didn't walk around and see mining nodes? What if with the new mesh on 5.8? Okay, I'd rather talk about 5.7. I mean, 5.7 is going to improve the laying of the hair. 5.7 is going to give us extra anchor points they propose. It takes a while to get it right. Ashes of Creation, reportedly, they're the ones who said, we're running... Did they say 5.6? My brain keeps wondering. But I believe it was 5.7 that they absolutely said, we are running on 5.7. there were a lot of things they tried, and we could go down the list, but this I'm not about them, and I was really just, kind of like, oh, that's interesting, because what they're doing was very interesting. And the game fell apart before we ever heard about the developers being any sort of issue at all. The game fell apart before any of that happened. Okay, so there were issues that just in game that people want to change really bad, and people who enjoy making victims out of others, making sure to harass and grieve and fatigue other people, they were just constant thieves. But then they found out that if there were 12,000 people playing Ashes of Creation, 10,000 of them were bots. Good timing, huh? Bots. Real money traders. Real money traders who would sit there doing particular collections right next to their bots. And if you attacked their bots, which some knew how to make them bulletproof, some knew how to make them your friends. In fact, they'd be in your clan when you met them. And you'd be like, how is that? Well, when you logged on, they just steal your information, and now they're you. Very exciting. Weren't you holding your axe? You could use left mouse click when you're holding it. So I try to remember that for these funky positions. I don't want to become, I really try not to become dependent on E for everything. Because, yeah, E for everything. Hello, pig. We'll get to you. Unless you get to me first. This is an oak. It's just in the shade. Dang. Can't wait till I can chop down everything. Garrett will have so much fun. She will. Chopping down trees. Okay, so how else are you going to get wood? Have an NPC that sells it to you? Yeah! Never. You know, I gotta pay attention, but I see no difference between one hit on a shield in a combat experience and two. I really gotta pay attention because, well, okay, for a while I just saw it. Is that a deer? No, I just saw it. The shading's gotten better. The deers are looking fitter. I just wondered, you build up your shield by bumping bunnies in the... Okay, it was different. It was different. They've changed things, and I just didn't go with the change, or I just didn't understand it in the first place. Yeah, that can happen. There was a gent today, because I swear it couldn't have been a female. That's so sexist. Yeah, that's right. Well, no, it's not. Not if you're a reasonable person, but if you're on the left, yeah, I guess it would sound sexist, but you guys aren't supposed to recognize sex, so I'm not quite sure where that all comes from. But people on the right recognize sex. We know what chauvinist and stuff is. That's man's work. That's the first thing you hear out of women. That's a man's job. But if you say it's a woman's job, that's it. Yeah, but they'll tell you. Go ahead. What? You're lying. You say it's any different, you're lying. Women, that's a man's job. Yeah, if it has grease on it, that's a man's job. If it's over 200 pounds, that's a man's job. If it's growling at you, that's a man. Well, I don't know. Women like taming dogs. Come here. I'm going to get you. Hey, women are just as wonderful as men are. I don't really see an issue. Hello, dear. There's supposed to be more boar out here. Are we about to regenerate boar and have them jump me? Because there's like 4 out here all in one area, and that's what I was doing. We were trying to keep track of the darn boar. That brings up the other thing. There's so many places boar can show up, and as you hunt them, they go and show up in those other areas so that they don't just immediately return to where you last hunted them, unless someone else is hunting them where they're showing up. Right? Not exactly quantum physics, not exactly Feynman, not exactly You got a buddy behind the tree, smoking a J? Ever do that? You just walk up and you're like, no, there's no one there. Then you just, meh. Then you shoot him. Knowing where the birds are when they drop. Well, you know, now that I got a bow and arrow on me, before I was trying it with the spear thing. Gerrit is way too slow with a spear. I'm not sure what skill you get faster, but she's at level 8. I've got to get to level 10. I've got to get to level 10 before I start swinging the sword. Because once you start swinging the sword, you're going to swing that baby for a long time. And, hold on, two-handed spears different than one-handed? Excuse me, Gerrit. Hand spears, yeah, level 8. Now the great maces, they combined? Did they yet? Because there's maces. And there's great maces. So, now is that what they're going to combine? Because that's, you know, I thought the thing was done. Maybe it's in the past now and I can't remember what it was anymore. Because I never used anything but pointy sticks. The Sylvan staves weren't even effective for a while. They weren't striking anything, so I actually got used to not using them. Pole arms. What's the difference between pole arms and spears? Well, of course, pole arms are supposed to have a cutting blade or something on the end, right, aren't they? Or a hook, things like that. Not typically supposed to be just a spear. I'll have to check my, I know more about firearms than I know about hand weapons, because hand weapons, well, they're not very popular. I'm sorry. You get away with conceal and carry with a pistol a lot farther than you would with a sword. Go ahead, try to make it through an airport with a sword. I forgot the singer's name. Never mind. Harry Connick Jr. Anyway. The man in the moon is smiling because he's in love with the girl. Because he's in love with the girl in the world. I don't know. You know, he's another Bublé. Or maybe Bublé's another him. Really, for a snag? I am looking. There's some birch. Why am I not cutting the smaller ones? Have I done that comparison? Well, it's a pain. I'm going to have everything on me. Look, I look like a Swiss Army Gerrit. Got my bow, got my spear. Now, of course, you can't have the shield and the bow at the same time. Apparently, I think before you could, but it looked very bad. So now they just eliminate it. Mainframe pragmatism. We can prove it in a moment. I like proving things. Once I say something, I'm like, did you just say something you could prove? Disappears before you can even handle it. I think we have our answer. So, right, if you look at the original pictures, someone was saying, and quickly thereafter maybe, because I don't believe they showed the bows on the backs of those with shields on them. They showed clear shots. Even though it's got this little leather thing that shows up for your spear and your bow, that's kind of a medieval. What would you call a skin cybernetic? Gross. That's what you call it. Like Leatherface. So, if you want mesh, if you want tunneling, you're like, mesh. The mesh is like the stone in front of us. It's a sculpted object. Now there's a layer. What a painful. It's like, how am I gonna fall? Are you kidding? I love that. I love that. We need to get some science right here. Trees are cool. Oh, come on, Gerrit, get into it. So, yeah, I would like to see Mainframe give us mining tunnels that we'd have to go and mine. Sure, let the nodes reproduce in there. Make it farther and more dangerous to get things. A bit of parkour. A bit of respawning back at the doorway. One thing I like that Pax Dei XM brought up, and other people, I mean, when I say Pax Dei XM brought it up, when I say I brought it up, I am grateful to anyone, one who has watched this for 40 minutes, long past the 12, but I'm grateful to everyone I've learned something from, and I didn't just learn from, I've listened to stupid things about gaming. I just went through 3 Unreal 5.8, the one from Epic Games themselves, talking about their baby. There's a big tree. Look at this one. I'm gonna run out of room though. Gotta toss a couple things. Don't need these. Who needs more? And then I watched the Unreal Sensei, who he likes working in Unreal. I got to watch the rest of him, and he's just highlighting stuff. And I was like, okay, I can leave that. And then there's this other guy who's actually taking you through the workflow of 5.8. Okay, now Spire said something about them not being able to use the same assets moving forward. I cannot talk game designer, and there's a lot of different talk that you need to be able to talk to be a game designer, or you just sound like better than me. Even if you sound like an idiot as a game designer, you sound better than me. Why do you say that? Because it's true. I mean, for crying out loud. So there's all sorts of layers, there's all sorts of effects on layers, there's all sorts of terms, they call them, that you will never use outside game design. You won't. Even if you have an art degree like me, and you have the, I'll bust out the book. We have a resource, we artists, that you have to start with. I don't have I have only an image of the book in my head. It's there in my collection. It might have been put away for a while. We had some water damage issues thanks to the persistence of water. The restacking. Check that. Wicked game. Let's get too much tree. We're gonna get too much tree, man. Gonna OP on tree. So it's like he stated specifically that he said many assets, the trees themselves would have to change for 5.7. Well, 5.8, it's interesting. You don't want mesh. Why not? Well, okay, certain stones and stuff like this won't have the issues they do. They won't be a separate piece under the ground that steals our stuff, right? That won't be an issue. The roads and all will be painted on the surface. Anybody who has used Sims, which would be the best place to see that. Do I really need 10 bone? I need wood. I need wood more than bone. That sinew's become more important now that we have bowstrings. That's not exactly an exclamation point for me. That's kind of like a, when people do the emotes of those, I'm like, okay, that's cruel. When they're like with an announcement or a community event, and they put a little pile of poop, a little smiling pile of poop, or they put, if that means a good thing, the cool kids don't know, it's like, yeah, that's bad, man. Oh, it's bad? No, it's bad. Right? Anyway. Anyway, so you have all this, idea what the future of Pax Dei. Texture landscape runs a lot better. Texture landscape, I believe, can feel you're there. It can react. It can. Remember the bushes used to move around us? Remember that? Remember when they used to sweep around us? You see that? Because we used to have a lot more, right? You can't get that with meshing. You might not notice this a lot. Oh yeah, sure, it's just a little effect with a little thing. That's right. Mesh doesn't handle that apparently very well. So that would change. You see, even nice, this baby's breath, or maybe some, baby's breath, some foxglove or something. Might not be quite. Because it ain't lupine, it doesn't have the right leaves. So, well, hold it. Is this the same guy who owns that whole spread out there? So what are they doing? They're tired of filling up that space over there, and now they're filling up this space over here? How many people do you think show up at this shrine? Some guy's complaining. It won't let me renew my plot, and we had a tower with like 400 cases. What's the point? I guess it's all stone. This is all the stone they've been collecting, I guess. Oh well, who is it? Yeah, Valerius. So what is this, plot 502? Expiring depot. So he's going to let this expire so it goes into his... I hope they keep track of how much can go into your queue, right? Well, actually, I don't care, but I mean, that's not my business. Right? Who knows? And then they'll all disappear. Because this Johann started... This is the guy who took my Johann name. That's why I had to put Johann with a Y. It's his fault. Gerritdina had to be respelled too. It's spelled different than in Candy Twist, because someone put twist of candy. People just do that. They'll just get an alternate and say, well, you can't have your name. And they'll just make an alternate that they never use. And that's what happens. And you make yours, right? And then they can delete theirs. But you would have to delete yours to change your name. It's like, oh well. Maybe they'll let us change our names. You know what I mean? Edit them a little. Why not? I mean, Biggest Dickus, he needs some help. What else do we have here? Going into the building with your spear sticking out of you? Just can't do it. Walk, Garrett, walk. Take the caps off. It's my caps lock button. I need to make a double stack so I have a nice chimney. I need to do it different. I need to do some building. Yeah, why don't you go, go, go? You all go, go, go. Yeah, yeah. You wear your pants on your left. What is it? Oh, the waist on your pants too low. Is that it? You read it all in magazines. She's Magdalene. Ain't it funny how the sun shines? Do, 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 do. Talking about an underage girl who's doing silly things. Yeah, not my scene. No underage girls showed up at our construction site doing crazy stuff. It didn't happen. Well, unless they were the guy's daughters. Let me use a nail gun. Get her. Grab her. I can't hold it down. Man, if you use 2-inch pneumatics, that doesn't sound big. 2-inch pneumatics is enough to let you know. There's larger. You don't often hold them. I think that one that they represent, Till Lindman is whatever his name is. Till there, that might be a 3-inch pneumatic with the feed line. Anyway, hammer, a pneumatic hammer. Get the hammer. Don't hurt him, hammer. Do 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 do. Can't touch this. Do 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 do. Ma music. Oh no, never mind. Got a dang thug. What do I got going on here? Do I got the good stuff going yet? I need lime, Garrett. We need to put the lime in the coconut. I can't. What do we need for lime? Iron, right? Working on it. So, anybody out there doing the 7-day trial who eventually watches this episode, who most likely will be ancient by then, which would be interesting if you were watching it somewhere in the year 3010, going, what was Pax Day? By then you'll have a virtual world you just walk through, and most likely it'll be a horrifying place to spend time in, but more power to you. Second Life has a virtual version, totally different from Second Life. Excuse me, Linden Labs. I forgot what they called it. Yeah, it was the first days of virtual, and well, I saw it. Yeah, checked it out. Cool. Bye. And that was it. Not into virtual gear. It is best if both of your eyes have correctable or good vision. Right? That's what's best. Well, my eyes are not what's best. Ooh, you gotta make glue. Yes, my little huffer. We need to make some glue. L7. They talk about a guy huffing in an oxygen mask. Makes you wonder how L7. Okay, if you listen to them, they will actually make claims like we forgot our music. Like, really, L7? They're still out there. They sing other stuff. They sound like the indie girl who goes down. I went to the mountain. I went to the bathroom. I have no idea. If you've never heard of the Indigo Girls, well, what do I need? Shopping list. What? Yeah. Round, round, get around. I'll get around. Ooh, get around. I need... Now, another bout to wood. You'll be quickly out. One thing that's nice is the bronze no longer takes up our wood. I don't have any sand going. Gotta have the sand going. What happens if you don't get the sand going? You run out of room for sand. That's the first thing that happens to you. Why do you get more furnaces? Because, okay, I'm simulating. We're simulating, folks. Simulating. You don't have a big line of furnaces. Okay, we're never going to have a market. Unless it's just between ourselves. Between people who know each other. Most of these people hoarding are putting their stuff on the market and just being quiet, going, ha ha ha, come and buy my stuff. Though, if you check out chat, which there's no one here, Selene, man, is a tough night. Oh my goodness, there's no one here. So, I'm gonna get a pop-up in Province. Send notification when you start playing with a new character. I don't know why you would do that. Well, I sign it with a different account, so I don't know why I would do that. Receive notifications when new players join Pax Dei. Dun dun dun. When new players join? Well, okay. Not doing it. Wise Unicorn. Very nice. I like that automatic name. 13784. That's even a nice number. It's got a 4 and a 4, right? In a sequential. Plus this is a factor of 4, and 4 and 3 is a factor of 7, and 1 can either exist or not exist, right? I like it. It's a good balanced number. If you don't think of things that way, you're not wrong. It's just a big world out there. all made by God. Very quickly. Very, very quickly. Why are you like that? You're always talking about God. That's really all I have to talk about. Everything I will relate to from God first. I'm not one of those people who says, the world says this. I wonder what the Bible says. No, I'd rather... No. So, you, my little lady, that's chauvinist. You are little and you are a lady. You know, women who don't like being put on the pedestal certainly haven't spent long on a pedestal. So we need you. I want you. I want you so bad, babe. I'm staying local, so I should be able to skin anything. But this is, you know, we're going to be hunting and everything else while we're out there. And that's the mix. Hold it, this is boring. Somebody in Discord, man. They were responding to somebody, and I just didn't want to go, I didn't want to go any farther. I don't like giving myself fuel. I have plenty. Nice. See? You see? You hunt birds, you get 100 and something a pop. Oh, really? I know. I know. You're higher in light armor on your chest because your default tunic. And if you spent a good amount of time pounding around, you should be a few points ahead. Because even this far ahead, what is this? 3,000 ahead? Literally nearly 3,000. Just short, 2,070, 700, 2,700. Well, 2,700 from 300 EXP, 600 EXP, so that's 900. And then you go to 1,200 EXP, 300, 600, 900, 1,200. That's 4 levels. Your first 4 levels. So 300, 600, 900 twice. So that's 1,800. Then you get 1,200. So you have 3,000, right? And so then you move forward on that. You're right. So you just keep on moving forward. We can check that as we go up on these other ones. And it's the most boring thing you'll ever do. But I've already done it for you. They all start at 300, and they all jump up by the same amounts. Unarmed combat. I'm about to go up in unarmed combat, baby. Are you out there swinging on pigs? Do it. Do it. What are you kidding? Don't you want to be level 20 armed combat? You can punch out birds. I think it's faster than punching out or trying to spear them. Well, I think it is. Alright, I know I got this place marked. I don't hear any birds shouting at me. Where's me copper? So, as you can see, this whole thing has been salt and peppered. We got a bunch of copper out here. Well, that's a big deal. And then we can go and get some tin and maybe pump a Don Smurf and come back around. Pump a Don Smurf. Any of you watch the Smurfs? I've been doing it around my boy for a long time. Pump a Don Smurf. And we used to do it in school. We used to shout at each other, or we knew when to do it. You see, there was this one. I'll watch all the Smurfs to get it. I swear I would. Maybe. Did I leave some tin over here? I gotta double check. Oh, okay. It might be copper. It might be copper. That's the wrong way. Dandelions. That's what I feed the bunnies. There ain't enough dandelions out here to feed my bunnies. Now, it would be funny if that was realistic, during certain times of year. Hey, bird. During certain times of year, you find dandelions like sweeping across the terrain. That'd be real. Oh, these are the ones that I haven't remarked. Okay, so let's collect some tin. And remark it. I knew I needed to do this. I need to do some accounting. Tin's done so darn fast. No, not you. Go. So that's tin. Do yourself a favor if you haven't done it already. You know, why? Well, yeah, I look at the map and I forget to actually. Dude, come on. Where's the third one? That's what. Are they? There it is. I love when you'll see a node like way up there on the hill, and you're like, what are the chances? Now may the Lord bless Billy. And the Lord bless Billy. Well, I don't know if he's... See the leaves coming around my feet? That's a bit too sensitive, don't you think? Now, anything you see in, you know, Pax Dei XM, those are all very common. Well, when I say common, I don't mean like mundane. I mean like relevant, valid, standing issues. Having no form of stealth or quiet step, so we get a fighting chance against sensitive things. With the boars and all that stuff, you got to use mesmerize or whatever else. Well, Yump and Yemeni. What am I missing here? Yeah, right there. Did somebody already come through here? Maybe they did. Maybe they just didn't know that other tin was over there. Cool. I'll have to check the film and see if I already got it. It's weird. There's one over there, one up there. Must have... Tin goes so fast. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I seem a little... I just don't think I took the entrance tin out. I don't... Now last time Billy spoke up in chat, I didn't notice him for a while. That bugs me. Don't like letting people hang. Now, as you may have seen, wow, we're already past an hour. This is how Pax Day is. For me, it's just a very comfortable, peaceful, easy feeling. Wow, look at all that silver sitting up there. Yes! So if you've already built your castle and you don't need any more stone, but you want silver plates, where did you get silver? Well, you get it from the Nice rock that's sitting over there in plenty. And I'll be getting that soon. Because I need silver. Now, hanging out, I was just over in the public test server, and this is all I have. Chuck, do you want to run a dungeon with us? K-Dip TV. 1845, I have a lot less in Ancien, but I have 15 plots. Now, Kim B, K-Dip and Kim B, you know, Chuck, hi K-Dip, right? Kim B's down here. They might be doing a dungeon run tonight. I'm in no shape. I'm in no shape to be doing dungeon runs. So darn it, you know. I already had my zone, well, you know, what we call our zone going, right? I just didn't have the province going at the time. You could have both chats going just to see who comes on and off, but there's always people on. Yeah, go watch your stream. Yeah, just getting ready to go watch your stream. And people do watch each other's streams, right? Which is pretty cool. Do people watch mine? Well, I don't know. Yeah, okay, Kimby Goes to Dungeons. And right there, whenever you're watching this, that's Kimby. She's right up the road, right back there. And they do dungeons. Now, where are they going and which dungeons they're going to? Well, you'll learn. Because I don't know them by heart. And if you even told them to me, it'd be like, I don't know. Right? How are you doing? Happy to see you in PAX. You know? Well, it says something TV, right? So maybe a tuber. A YouTuber. I'm not a very good YouTuber. I could care less. What's this over here? More tin. Got to mark it. Hey, when you need tin, man, it's good to know where it is. No, I'm not looking. Well, you saw what I looked at. I was looking for copper, too. So these are all tin. But I didn't find that one. Okay, when I marked these, I just wasn't so brilliant. I didn't have my brilliant hammer idea yet. I know, brilliant. So, as we start reaching toward our, we're doing our 7th inning stretch right here. Unreal 7. Anchors. Ways to wear more. Things I thought we had before, and we did. We could wear the chainmail under the women's dresses, which was cool. The ladies could look like ladies while being well defended out in the field. What was the plan? But I'm just curious. What was the plan? Whew. Though. Almost seems like it was the same spot. Too close. I'm leaving that pick there just to see if it ever shows up as tin again. I better get some juice on me. I know, pretty exciting. Now, if you're a person who checks out these streams that plays Pax Day, I'd like to know what it is that you find interesting about a stream. Some people might just watch me, and people have in the past. I used to have over 1,000 individual unique viewers, as YouTube puts it. Could be all a lie, that's just how they put it. But I had over 1,000, I forgot. And at my peak, which isn't very large, but that's enough, 1,000 people who on average watched a few minutes of me. We're not talking, let's just sit down and watch. No, they watched a few minutes. And I had a handful of people who would, stick around and watch. And a lot of them would just watch while playing Pax Day, which I find perfectly interesting. I listen to things about the game engine and other things like that. I don't listen to distracting things while playing Pax Day. I even have trouble, not trouble, I just don't find it very useful to listen to music, even though I like it while playing Pax Day. Like I said, I don't find it very useful. It's like I'm going to chase away some birds in a second. And there are birds around here, I've warned myself. Now, there's plenty of you out there who may be tired of the grind. Tired of the grind. I don't even consider this a grind, but I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue one person's view of something over another's. If you call it a grind, well, there you go. And only a person can know if they're just saying a grind because they want to be, they just want it easier. Or do they really think it's irritating? Yeah, again, I'm not very irritated by Pax Dei. Pretty happy. Hoping mainframe goes back to their first love, goes back to those things they wanted to do first, because those things are going to lead them to the future. A lot of the future is already going to be negotiating engines. And negotiating engines is boring. It takes forever. And heck, you could burn out. Oh yeah, burn out. Am I going to keep you? Because I don't have much of you guys, do I? Just a little bit. Man, I need more copper. I'm going to have to focus on copper. Apparently there's one right ahead of me. And two over here mixed up with a tin. So we're going to go find those. But other people do come through. Someone's pad. Gotta remember there's so many berries out here. See, there's supposed to be copper right there. But it's not there. It takes a while to come back. This is why you mark things out. They might have been full. You know this. Why am I saying it? You jerks. Come on. You know I'm deadly. Come on. Ah, you. Ah. You didn't want to be the one. Alright. You're going to get a butt tattoo. Purple micro dot. Get you again. Really? Oh, I'll get you. Come here. You can run up to things. You will notice if you run up to things, though, when the server's slow, they're going to hop past you. This can become a tactic. Man, I'll be tossing tin, but I need tin too. Why pass it up? I'm not seeing any copper. And that's just the way it is. Some things will never change. Now, you know, if you go to an area where you saw stuff before, it's still there. It is. It didn't disappear. Did I can't tell if I have one there or not. Okay, I don't hear a duff. No duff sound. And that's why I don't have things marked either. Someone might have mined them already. And it takes a while, and they slowly bip out of the ground. We're heading toward the server line out here. I didn't bring... No, I got a bronze. Man, there's so many oats out here. Who is this? Oh, they didn't have a thing? Poor deers. Hazy bunnies, hazy. It's Hazy Bunny. Hazy bunny, hazy bunny, hazy bunny. Hazy bunny? Hazy bunny. Someone's nice place over there. Deer. The cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when. But we'll get together then, son. You know you'll have a good time then. No, there's nothing like Pax Dei. There's going to be lots of changes with Unreal Engine in the future. Still got a bite out of me. Well, you drop your shield when you go for the hit. Them boars, they can be smart. Smart. You're a deer. Yowling. Oh, there's supposed to be some pheasants right over there. Perhaps. I usually mark the... I want to mark the pheasants because you cannot see them. They will elude your visual inspection. And someone might have already shooed them away. Or they're behind the tree. Garlic coming in 5s. What? Oh, you... Jeez. You know... Simulate, you dang deer. Wait. You're just gonna shoot me in the butt. Nothing like it. Kinky deer. You know, if you see him licking grass, that's where you peed in the forest. In real life. Go ahead, ask somebody who knows. Now we're getting a lot of junk. Yeah, you kind of look like you went through a thrift store real quick. By the time you get anywhere. Oh dear. You wonder, what have I done? Well, I didn't find enough copper, that's what. That's what I did. Oh, I have one of those raspberry juices left. My precious. Where in the heck? Is there a copper up here? There must be. I gotta prioritize tin. I'm sorry. I gotta focus. At this point, should I toss stuff? No. Home's too close by. And there's more copper a different way. Why'd you get so much tin? Because it's there. And I won't have to. This is why there wasn't that much copper this way. This is the home valley. One of the things, and I referred to it because he did such a great job. He did a great job. He brought up a lot of things and he emphasized them rather heavily. Ooh. Better go to my K-belt. Yo. There's a reason I carry stone out here, and you're like, oh, it takes one more hit each time. Okay, yo. I use stone a lot. When I go around and hit the small birches, because it raises my chances of getting, 1, 2... Is there anything behind? No. I'm getting resin. Dang it, wrong way. Shoot. Thought she was going to cut straight. Come on. Everybody has something to hide, except for me and my monkey. Think. Now, could the hunting become a better thing? Well, the arrows have changed. I've had to change. The flint arrows are a little more like the wood arrows, and the wood arrows are barely a bet anymore. You better be dead nuts with those things. Okay, what do we have? So we're not going to see any more copper out there. What's the closest thing to my house? There's nothing up here. This is a nothing. Which is too bad. I'm so sad. But there. Bring up another point while we head toward it. It's one reason I'm out here. I always try to get multiple reasons to be in an area. Because I was speaking yesterday about these, our little... Let me make sure I'm on the right track here. Oh, Lord. Well, no, I thought I was... Did I think I was heading towards something else? Because there's some folks out here. Is there seriously nothing... No more ore? I'm gonna have to take a different look. Isn't that cool? Little industrial place, huh? Nice little gate. Makes you wonder whose it is, Nice little shoreline. No, they might not. You know, there's a lot of work. And remember, a bounty hunter could be waiting for you because the doors don't lock. Why would they be waiting for you? Well, you see, this bounty hunter had no rules. No crime. It didn't take a crime to put a bounty on somebody. He just did it. That sounds really nasty. Oh, come on. Is that dot? That's an interesting dot, don't you think? I really don't know what to think of it. If I ever do even just say, well, I'll use it because, well, it's there. It doesn't work. Where are you, chuckleheads? Oh, they're right over the edge of the rock, aren't they? I'm gonna... What? I'm gonna hit... Oh no, we wasting them. They're nice. Got him, too. No, 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 no. Don't do it. Don't tempt me. Dang. Is that straight? You know how far they go straight before they arc. Am I gonna have enough room? No. What can I get rid of? Not feel guilty. You. Gonna need you too. More? Now, you know, I thank you. I thank you for taking the time to be around. I'm not going to push these shows past an hour 20, an hour 30. Yes, it is just about whatever it can be about. Oh, you guys. Yes. It's worth the points. Getting out here and racking up some points. I didn't see them fly away. They all flew away, but they didn't run the animation. Maybe because I started... Look at the sun. I love the way the sun breaks through. Even though, no, it's not as incremental as it could be. That's right. Maybe the server could run it more frames. As you know, I believe I've heard that's the type of answer or response to get it to be smoother, not click along. It looks like with Unreal 5.8, a new game made with mesh would see some advantage, but not an old game. Perhaps they weren't speaking it up like Pax Dei could get a new revamp. Though mainframe makes it through 5.7, and the tech debt they will find there, and if they punch through and persist on to capture a few of their dreams in digital form, they'll be that much closer to having the Pax Dei they told us they wanted. Before everybody started telling them what we wanted. Yeah, sure. Great idea, schmate idea. Gaz, you guys gonna make it over here? Because I'm gonna hit you both. Dang it. Come here, come here. Gotta hit them both. Why do I have to hit them both? Because I want the darn experience from hitting them both. Whoa! You brought your sister, your brother too? Word up. Everybody say. That's kind of cool, huh? The third one came out. Woo! Now, you might think, linen gear. Okay, I'll start. It's like Pax Dei. I'm gonna leave, and when the game improves, I'll come back. When you get Garrett out of linens, if you expect to see Garrett jumping around in armors, you gotta remember, she's the Valley Girl. Like, oh my God, Valley Girl. If you've never heard that song, please do a little research. It improve your mind. Wow, I kept on forgetting how many deer are over here. You've seen the benefits. Where are you going? Ah, too far. They got it short term. Well, what do you want? Smart deer? Oh, wow. Hadn't noticed. A patient. Too high? Too high. I think there's one around the corner too. So to speak. So cruel just shooting deer like that. How do you expect to shoot them? Maybe they could be flashy, pixely, glittery deer that explode and fart snow cones when you hit them. I don't know, man. Whatever people want. I just want the game mainframe once. As we clear up. Yeah, it's time. Get her up, girl. Dang, we need copper. But we'll be running back to the place now. I should be able to find some copper on the way there, because I thought I was. There's that, and there's that. So let's look at this workshop really quick. If you're still here with me, these little guys are important. Somebody put in a little video. It was a dumb video. They got more views than I ever got on mine. But it was stupid. And I don't know. People like soy boys. They like the soy boy. This changed the game for me. And they kind of had they had AI doing a bad sit-up. Why don't we get wood chip? And what happened to the wood chip? It's white. What is this supposed to be? Our snow feature? This has got to be the most boring workshop. They put a bed here as if you could lay. You can lay. It's just you look weird. So anyway, someone was like, what can we do? We can't do anything. Well, all right. Here, it might be a bit of a problem for you. You can do all these tools and all, but right, if you're out in the wilds, or even here, where are you going to create the ingot? Now, if you happen to have this log bench here, log workbench, was made so that if you did not have a plot, you would have this at the Petra May or Petra Days, or these. They became useless very quick. Why? Because you can see they mixed everything up. This has everything you would have. You can do this all on you, but when you have basic fletching tools and cooking tools and all these other tools, what do you need for these? Well, not the flinted arrow, pottery molds, jewel crafting tools. Most everything on here is for, something you need a plot for. So that log workbench changed very quickly. Now there's nothing here. you can make an ingot off of. So these are the types of workshops you will find in a home valley. There's also a couple other ones we should check out because there's ones in the home valley that do have a forge. And there's ones outside in the wilds that are pretty near basic like this. I've seen ones, they have a couple archery targets and things like that. So there are differences. Where were we on this Kappa? Where are you, Kappa Ed? There. Up, doing the jog. How do you see? Here's the shuffle walk. What sucks about the shuffle walk is if you decide to run, your run sucks. It's not a good run. So what you have to do in my world is you gotta aim an arrow, you cancel the shot, you put it back on your back, and now you're running normal. So when you run, you actually run instead of shuffle walk, right? Oh, you guys. It's not about you. There's the copper. There's another person who said, I never had a shuffle walk. But they had another weapon operation issue. That wasn't the spam it and then you couldn't use it one. That was happening in dungeons, I guess. For people, you know, just trying to stay on the mark. Dungeons, I'm sorry, but the fights, they suck. It's just a bloody scrum. Okay, to watch. As far as I'm concerned, being there with folks and having a good time, I really don't care what it looks like. As long as I'm doing my part and not letting people down. That's what's important to me. But, no, everybody's just together going, and you just see wackety, wackety, wackety. It looks like a blender with different wheels. I'm serious. That's what it looks like. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Nope. I'm too close to home to care. But of course, the shortcut's blocked off by Digus's abode. Let's see, can't really walk through it. Interesting rock formation, huh? And pretty improbable. Garrett, come on, duck. Can't duck. Let's go. Bum 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 bum. Garlic, just in case you thought you were good. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna stand over here and shoot at you. I didn't expect a welcome party. The zoom kind of helps on that one. Come here. Whoa, you're way up there now? Got you. Where's your buddy? There. Look at that. Jumping. Jumping over the hills. That's healthy, deer. Can't wait to... Oh, no, you really don't have a... Our recipes are weird, aren't they? Was that you? What am I dealing with here? Nice curve. The curve has to be predictable. Or you just don't know, right? Oh, dang it. Really? You're in a little hole? Down in a hole. Okay. This one first. Dude, why did I decide? If the deer could barely make it around up here, wow. I don't know why I think I can. You just find stuff in the hills. It's important. If you can jump through the hills with a bow in your hand, you're a badass. Yodel-a-hee-hoo. Oh, there's another one. This is the experience, man. I do like the terrain. I'll tell you what, the terrain in Pax Dei is much more, with the ruggedness and everything, it's still very kind compared to real terrain. Real terrain, you couldn't just kind of go, well, okay, you'll basically always find a way. You know, wherever you're going, you'll always find a way. Well, okay, yeah, sure, there's times you don't. Darn birds. I'm gonna swamp them right over the hill. Dang it. Too long, I mean, to wait. Of course. That is a stump. Did I even hit one? Or did I not do enough damage? Or did it go under? Oh, man. Yeah, maybe it didn't do damage. You know, sometimes I don't look, right? You just don't do enough damage. There's an experiment before we go. See, it's a stone. Of course I've disappeared, right? In fact, it's hard to figure out where I was. But you see, under these stones, do you see? There's these pockets, right? And that's our texture. It's just a little stump piece, for crying out loud. Alright, which one were you on, Garrett? No, okay, there's that log. Alright, that's what I was... Well, yeah, as you can see, either the bird got away... I do not... You get the blood stain for the moment. You know what I mean? Now, I thought it was kind of like right there. I mean, they were kind of in that area. Oh, well. You get my vengeance. Dang it. Missed him. Right in your darn eye. That was cruel. More of you buggers. We're extending it because we ran into critters. Oh, really? Come here. Got him. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Dang it. That was bad. I'll get better. When they're coming right at you. Now, you see, I don't see a red mark that persisted very long with these. They fade quickly. They really do. How far down the hill were these guys? There. They did change the arrows. I'm not quite so dead-eye as I was before. Which wasn't perfect, but it was good enough. More copper. We can get more copper. As long as it is more copper. Yes, hunting berries, up on the cooking, all that stuff. It won't end. It won't end. Oh, come on. It's centered on the wrong spot or something? Come on. I mean, if you put your finger there, I guess that might not have been where I had it. I don't care. Alright. The home valley might be a good enough place to go around and bumble your inventory through. But truly, setting up a pattern, sure, I could just run from copper to copper, run away from every boar. It would be very difficult to hunt out an area here in order to make it safe, or, excuse me, not necessarily safe, but less distracting. And by distraction, I mean your inventory, you not having to throw things on the ground. Now, things like this, you get several dozen people over a week. I mean, really, several dozen people over a week dumping sand everywhere. Although sand's worth a lot of money, so people might not be dumping it. Just so we can run home. Wee, all the way home, and we can grab this sand. It's funny how much we get. Alright. Get back. Oh, right when I... At least that's realistic. Dude's like, no, I saw you. How'd I run out of arrows? Okay, I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for an excuse. Alright, girl. Let's go. Ah, they're too fast. They don't care. It's insane even to try to think about it. They're punks. Did I not finish one up? Yeah, if any of you just want to yell at me for keeping any of this stuff, go ahead. Right. Let's go. There's more of the sand I left behind earlier. 95. Why aren't you grabbing the copper? Because there ain't enough of it, and I ain't going to be able to find more very soon on this side. Dude, where did all you deer come from? Well, I need some darn experience while I can get it. Poke you in the eye, poke you. Isn't that funny how it works? All those deer running around. Now, it would be worthwhile to make a couple arrows. That's for sure. That's for sure. But I'll tell you, I'm going to remember where 3 deer are. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I have put a bow and arrow there. I'll tell you what. No, I'm not going to pass up 3 deer. Now, that's enough for that. Of course you know what I'm up to. Now we need room for the wood arrow. Sand's very easy to find. Someone was saying how the sand or clay looked funny as heck when you dropped it. I guess they don't expect us to make a little basket. You deers. Where'd you go? Did I finally bug you so much you're gonna... No. Don't... Oh, wow. Are you drunk? And eating those fermented berries? Alright. Now there's the third that I thought was closer. Now, wood arrows for a distance. Still pretty much... I don't know, maybe I'm just getting used to them. Oh, you stopped. So, get out. Enjoy it. If you... Yeah, we've gone long, but I'll tell you what. If you're still here, say this to the people who own Pax Dei and might say something. They gave you a year for free. That's what they did. There's enough grace for everybody to have a year for free. Those who have earned rewards and have already taken time in Pax Dei, they've been given a year. I don't even know if we're going to ever use this stuff. I could get rid of the arrow, but I want that last arrow. I've learned my lesson. Well, I'll just have to go through the throwing things down again. You can see what happened. Oh, look what happened. It's the rough animal hide. Very valuable. Serious stuff. Get 2 hides out of that. I tell you. I am back. Where are you back from? What am I missing over here? Oh. Oh, okay. You can't... I hope they went to direct message because I've read a lot of Pax Dei news, and where'd that sand go? Do 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 do. More copper. Did I mark this one? Did I mark you guys? I know I marked this one. Yes. They're just all back now. Hi, dear. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, wow. You suck. He turned around. I had him. I had him. I'm not even where I want to be. Yes, it's the bridge. Maybe he'll... Looks like he's working on it. And it's not. If it all disappears... I've seen all that before. I try not to make things so that I disappear. Right now, that guy's got enough stuff. That would keep me for a year. But mainframe gave you enough grace for a year. And they're giving you enough gold to buy enough grace to last longer. I mean, you can get a few months. I mean, if you just focused on that, yeah, you could spend gold on other things. But if you just focused on how much they gave you to play, it's like a year and a half free, just for lining up the achievements. Now, of course, to finish some of those achievements might take a long time, but many people have already done them. Many people who... Okay, 11,000, what was our peak? 13,000, 11,000 on the opening day on Steam. And Steam doesn't track everybody. Not that, like, Game Pass and Epic Games had tons of Paxians. I'm not saying that. I'm not even trying to. In fact, I have no idea. Ah, D, went into the steps. They will get spilled with rewards as soon as they show back up. A lot of people don't seem to realize that. Wow, we could almost get a year playing for free, and we already played 3 months of full release. And if they're one of the people who just bought Pax Dei in the past, well, no. They come in and they just start playing. But they thought it was, maybe they thought it was boring, and that's just not worth it. But no, it's a year for free. That's what Mainframe did. Man, I got so much grace day one that I could probably at least cover a couple months. I think. I'd have to claim it all. And I will make a point of doing that. How many of you got, Garrett? Not you, not you. You, Journal, Jay. So 68 out of 289 is what Garrett has completed. I have not claimed a single one. If you're happy you hung out here to nearly the second hour at an hour and 48 minutes, I have not claimed a single one. Walls Against the Wind, Fire and Stone, those will be easy to get, right? Tools of the Smith and other things are all coming up. The war benches. All I gotta do is pick up and put down my benches again. You understand. Trades of the Craftsman, that's another repeated thing. Thread and Needle, another repeated thing. All these things. Vanquish Inquisitors, that's going to be your first one. Loot a locket from an Inquisitor, right? That's going to happen pretty darn quick. Then you get the Regent, Distiller, and Alchemy table from those. And I know they give you little tiny vials and stuff like that. Okay. Join or create a clan. So I'm going to have to switch from alderman, right? I did a video on this in a way. But then you have the Blessed Gathering, miracles, some exploration, right? That talks to, Delver, visit different things, visit different places. Pretty cool, huh? Wrong turn. Die from environmental hazards. Oh, I still got that plain barley. You see, there's a grace. It's just a grace. Base jump fan. Die from environmental hazards 10 times. I got 2 out of 10 going. I'm not going to do it on purpose. There's enough environmental hazards. But look at you. Keep on going, man. Keep on going. So they're handing out all this stuff. You can see I haven't even claimed this out. And I will make a point out of finishing a few of these and saying, well, all right, here's how much I have now with 70 or 80, maybe 89 and 200 left. I think that looked like I pretty much could do, 89. There's a few other things, but some, that's a lot of travel, right? I got to go around and travel, so that might take a little bit. But you get 40. Look, that's like handing you money. If you don't agree with that, well, I do. Now, of course, we go on. And I'm going to wrap this up. I know it's been riveting. It's all about me. Well, hold it. You're supposed to highlight Pax Dei. I am. This is, okay, well, if I'm going to say this is as good as it gets, I'd be a liar. Because it's getting better. Mainframe's come back from vacation. And no, there's going to be just a lot of bug fixing, guys. Look, they got a lot of stuff. And if they can get it done and figure it out fast, cool. If they can't, cool. No one else is doing it. Well, there's other games I'll be out there playing. Good, go play them. I would hate to say that Pax Dei took that away from you. You know what I mean? It's like I couldn't play my other game because of Pax Dei's influence in my life. Yeah, man. Break free. Break free. Don't let anybody kick your ass every day, especially a video game. Dragging you in, holding you down. No, never mind. So, it's pretty fun here for me. And I figure I'm going to keep this baby up there. You got the streams with Kim B. You just, I don't know if she's done one tonight or just finished doing one. Because she does do them these nights a week from here. I didn't see any announcements earlier. Though I'm not the best to be paying attention because I'm not ready to go to the dungeons. Yeah, you're boring. Why don't you go to the dungeons? Well, okay, that'd be pretty boring if I went to the dungeons. I will soon enough. I'm not in a hurry. Garrett's not in a hurry. Maybe those people were in a hurry. Maybe they got there quick, and you can get there quick too. But there's something you have to do first. You still have to make it up to level 10. In your basic gear, and you're gonna probably, you're gonna figure that out, man. You're gonna jerk it out. You're gonna figure out what's going on and how to do it. That's it. That's what you can do. I don't, and if you can't figure it out, just ask. I mean, they won't think you couldn't figure it out for yourself. Well, actually, I don't know. There's all sorts of people, aren't there? And I'm not gonna. Who am I to limit their wickedness? But that's the way it is. Yes, there are people who would love to hear that you don't know. That's right. We all just have to get over that. Because there will be people out there the Lord puts there that are ready to help. And help honestly. And they're able to discern when other people are yanking your door. All right, Garrett. Is that it for inventory? Where'd you go? See the flip around? I know. Okay. Well, it's nice. We got the light down here. Look, very feng shui. We have better fireplaces. We have a lot of places to go. Going there slow. Mostly it's talking about the game one day at a time. I'm here at 9 o'clock. I kick off, and I go beyond that. Sometimes it goes long. It just depends on how the game is. Wanted to come to Selene and show that the home valleys, well, this is just one home valley, right? This is Tolosa, and it's a very busy little valley. It'll get busier, as you can see. That's why I'm here. But besides, there's nice people here, too. And more, because there's more people right here. There's nice people everywhere. Please choose a place. Get into chat. If you like lots of space, make sure you do. There's plenty of it. There's people who want to expand into larger areas. We can barely fill the one we're in. So let's be patient before we up the power bill. And whatever. There's many other solutions than expanding to other places. How about they just, shut down a couple servers? Anyway, take it easy on yourself. May the Lord bless you, and Lord bless you. Why do you say both? Because I want to include you both. There are, I don't want to just say Lord bless you and have everybody think that's covering them. No, you can't say it to people who use Christ's name as a curse word or do not believe. You can't. Or you have blessed the things they do. I know God is very serious, right? The Father is very serious. And we can check it out. If you ever want to check out biblical stuff with me, yeah, then we'll go long. I'll cover just reading through a chapter and commenting on it. And you'll be astounded what the Holy Spirit will show you, not me. He knows so much. No. You'll be amazed at what you are shown by the Holy Spirit. All right. So all that aside, this is Pax Dei. This is the peace of God. Or is it just DEI? So keep your sticks on the ice. We'll see you tomorrow. Garrett, are we still in movement? Yep. Oh, now I got the facing wrong. There. It's just got to do it right. I am letting YouTube, I just pick from the selection of 3 thumbnails they give me. I know, I'm such an unprofessional. Let's do the long outro. Later, guys.